Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we'll be talking about the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. Fun fact, this is Ki Hong Kwan's first movie in 20 years. This film came out in 2022 and stars Michelle Yeoh, Ki Hoi Quan, and Stephanie Su, and was directed by Dan Quan and Daniel Scheinert. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Everything Everywhere All at Once tells how a normal woman is tasked with the impossible task of saving the multiple universes. What she doesn't realize is the answer to save the multiverse is closer to home than she actually thinks. Everything Everywhere All at Once is this multiversal action comedy drama that deals with handling generational trauma. If you liked Crazy Rich Asians, Turning Red, or The Matrix, then I suggest that you watch. The cast of this movie is just amazing. Michelle Yeoh was in Tomorrow Never Dies. Ki Hoi Kwan was in The Goonies. Stephanie Su was in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Jamie Lee Curtis was in Halloween. Harry Shum Jr. was in Glee. James Hong was in Mulan, and the Daniels also directed Swiss Army Man. This movie really brings up the multiverse in a really interesting way. People in the different universes show what could have been different if you did one thing in your life different and how that can spark a domino effect in that life. I love how in this film you can connect to a different version of yourself in a different universe, but in order to do so, you have to do something that might seem a little crazy. Michelle Yeoh was amazing in this movie as Evelyn. She proved that she can do action, comedy, and drama all within one role. It was interesting to see her hurting her daughter and throughout this movie learning that hurting her daughter is not something only done in this universe, but it was something that she did in other universes and that she needs to learn to accept her as she is and stop trying to make her conform to what she wants her to be. Her character also showed that sometimes you need to look inward because you might be part of the reason that the relationships around you are failing. This movie shows how generational trauma can affect your kids' outlook, not only on life, but also on their relationships with their parents. We see that in the current life, she doesn't accept her daughter as she is, but also in another life, we see how she puts so much pressure on her daughter to become this perfect multi-dimensional traveler, and it inadvertently created the evil Jobu Tupaki. Stephanie Su really amazed me as Joy slash Jobu Tupaki. She killed every one of her scenes that she was in. She effortlessly switches between this sad daughter who is longing for her parents to just really accept who she is and this multi-dimensional killer with ease, which led to some funny scenes but also some really dramatic ones. I found it interesting that Jobu Tupaki wasn't interested in killing her mom, but wanted her to see the pain that she had because of her mom, and wanted her to see how this was going to make her jump into this everything bagel that she created and placed different things from different multiverses, which has become kind of like a black hole now, and basically end everything and put herself out of her misery. The everything bagel was funny to me because it made me think of like those long work meetings that you have and then really don't want to be there, but the higher ups try to, sweeten the deal by bringing bagels. Ki Kwan makes his return to acting and was great as Evelyn's husband, who is trying to divorce her but also wants to help her throughout this movie and was so underappreciated. With all his counterparts, he helps Evelyn learn what the problem is and how she can fix it. I love how at the end he lets her know that violence isn't always the answer, but sometimes kindness is. Kindness leads to Evelyn curing people's pain instead of trying to fight them because they were in her way. I love this idea because it reminded me of the importance of therapy and how you shouldn't project your frustrations, but you should learn to face them head on and work through your problems and find a solution. In the end, she didn't have to kill Jobu Tupaki, but instead just show kindness because that was something that was neglected from Jobu and Joy all this time. Jamie Lee Curtis was funny as the IRS inspector. This was a role I thought that I would never see her in, but I did enjoy her character in this movie. Her and Evelyn had beef most of the movie, but by the end, we come to realize that she is also in pain and she really just needed some kindness thrown her way, even though sometimes she didn't deserve it. Legendary actor James Hong was funny in this movie, switching between this innocent grandfather who was losing his faculties and the leader of the Alphas. It was funny to see him switch between these characters, but also be part of the reason Evelyn has so much trauma that she has passed on to Joy. The cinematography and effects for this movie were fantastic. I love how it takes place predominantly in one office building, but we are transported to multiple universes and locations all at the same time. The choreography and editing of the fight scenes in this movie were dope. I love how some scenes showed Evelyn using martial arts skills, but some showed her using skills from a street sign spinner or a teppanyaki chef. My favorite scene is when Evelyn first meets Jobu Tupaki, and at first she can't tell the difference between her and Joy. Jobu walks in with a literal pig while getting ready to fight these cops and shows us how easy it is for her to get rid of anyone in her way. She gets rid of all these cops in a hilarious but very creative way. In this scene, I was just in awe of Stephanie Sue because she was really delivering a great performance and really dived into this role. Everything Everywhere All at Once is such a creative movie that explores the multiverses. It teaches us this lesson about being more understanding without judgment and has a phenomenal cast. If you haven't seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, please run to your nearest theater and go see it. It's really phenomenal. Thank you for watching my video. I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. If you have not subscribed, please do so you can keep up to date with more of my videos. But besides that, everyone stay safe, have fun, and goodbye.